Lately, Capricorn, you seem to be getting a strange sense of calm. Not excitement, not being afraid, clear. It is the kind of clarity that doesn't come with fireworks. It comes like silence after noise, like standing still and realizing that the ground under you has finally stopped moving. For a long time, you kept going without knowing why. Going up, holding, lasting, believing that effort would eventually make sense. And now, it is. Things that used to seem disjointed are coming together. You suddenly understand the choices you were unsure about. You thought that moments that slowed you down were keeping you safe. It's not a coincidence. It's recognition. Today is not about making promises or predictions. It's about knowing the design behind your path. Why your timing was never off. Why the weight you carried made you stronger instead of breaking you. And why this moment feels quieter, but more powerful than any other. So please stay with me. Let's go over what you now understand and why it finally makes sense for you, Capricorn. I'll start with a metaphor that might speak to your earth sign soul. Picture yourself as an architect who has been given pieces of a blueprint that are spread out in different rooms and hidden in drawers you didn't even know were there. For a long time, you've been trying to make something great with instructions that aren't complete. Yes, you had the foundation. Your Capricorn discipline made sure of that. You had the materials. Your ability to think outside the box made sure of it. But what about the vision, the whole picture? You didn't know that, up until now. Capricorn, your ruling planet Saturn has been teaching you something very important. Saturn doesn't show you the whole map at once, because if you saw the whole mountain from the bottom, you might think it's impossible to climb. Instead, Saturn shows the way one stone, one lesson, and one painful growth spurt at a time. But right now, you've climbed high enough to see the ground below. And all of a sudden, every detour makes sense. Every problem was really a setup. Everyone who left your life made room for what was to come. Every door that was closed was keeping you from going down a path that wasn't yours to follow. You didn't need to look outside for the missing piece. It's the new point of view you've gotten from the climb. Give it some thought. How often did you doubt your decisions? How many nights did you lie awake wondering if you were wasting your time or going in the wrong direction? Capricorn, the self-doubt that bothered you wasn't a sign of weakness. It was the hard work of someone becoming their best self. Let's talk about something that might hurt a little, but I promise it's good for you. You must be tired of waiting, right? Some people seem to skip steps, find shortcuts, and become successful overnight. But you have been moving at what felt like a glacial pace. Your Capricorn nature knows how important it is to be patient. But do you really? It's been so painful. This is what the universe was really doing while you were waiting. Every delay was a beginning. Think of it like a blacksmith making a sword. You need to heat, hammer, cool, and heat the metal again. Not because the blacksmith is mean, but because this makes something that can't be broken. That's been you, Capricorn. The waiting wasn't a punishment for you, it was making you stronger. And now you understand the missing piece. The timing wasn't random. Back then, you weren't ready for what you wanted, and what you wanted wasn't ready for you either. The ground needed time to become fertile. Your roots needed time to grow deep enough to support the tree you are becoming. I want you to think about who you were 3 years ago. 1 year ago. Could that version of you have dealt with what's going on in your life now? Would they have had the same limits that you have? The sense of worth that you've built up? The knowledge you've gained from your struggles? No, the answer is no. And that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. The waiting refined you. It removed your desperation and replaced it with deservingness. It stripped away your illusions and replaced them with clarity. You weren't stuck, Capricorn. You were germinating beneath the soil, preparing for a breakthrough that required deep roots. Every person who underestimated you during this time will soon witness what patience and persistence create. And you won't even need to prove anything to them, because you'll finally understand that their opinions were never the point. Now let's address the spiritual significance of this moment. In tarot, the Tower card shows a structure being struck by lightning, crumbling to the ground. Most people fear this card, but Capricorn, you understand something others don't. Sometimes the tower needs to fall so you can build something better. But here's the twist in your story. You haven't been experiencing a tower moment. You've been in a cathedral moment. What does that mean? A cathedral takes generations to build. The architects who laid the first stones knew they wouldn't live to see the spires completed. They worked anyway, with faith in the vision, with dedication to something greater than immediate gratification. That's what you've been doing spiritually, even if you didn't realize it. Every hard choice you made, every time you chose integrity over convenience, every moment you honored your values despite the cost, you were laying stones in your cathedral. And the missing piece that's falling into place? It's the realization that the cathedral was never meant to be finished quickly. It's the understanding that every stone you laid in darkness was necessary. It's the recognition that you weren't building for applause, you were building for legacy. This is why things are suddenly making sense now. You're high enough in your construction to see the pattern emerging. The stained glass windows you installed during your darkest moments? They're catching light now. The foundations you poured when no one was watching? They're holding strong as you build higher. Your life isn't coming together despite the struggle. Your life is coming together because of it. Capricorn, you are the zodiac's master builder, and you've been constructing your masterpiece all along. The missing piece was simply trusting the blueprint that was written in your soul before you were born. Let's get specific about an area where this clarity is probably hitting you hard. Your relationships. How many people have you released in recent years? How many connections have dissolved, not with drama, but with a quiet knowing that the season had ended? Here's what you're understanding now. Those weren't losses. They were completions. You see, Capricorn, your soul has been going through an elevation process, and not everyone is meant to climb every mountain with you. Some people are base camp friends. They're there to prepare you, to share supplies, to wish you well. Some are mid-climb companions, challenging you, pushing you, helping you navigate the rough terrain. And some are summit partners, meant to stand with you at the peak and plan the next climb. The missing piece is recognizing who belongs where, without making it mean something is wrong with them or with you. That friend who ghosted you when you started prioritizing your growth? They were a base camp friend, and it was time to climb. That relationship that ended right when you were leveling up? It was a mid-climb connection. Perfect for that altitude, but not built for where you're headed. That person who suddenly feels distant even though nothing dramatic happened? You're simply on different paths now, and that's okay. But here's the beautiful part. The people who are meant for your next chapter are already on their way. And they're not coming from where you've been looking. They're not going to be carbon copies of your old connections. They're going to be mirrors of who you've become. The universe has been clearing your table so it can serve you a feast. But you had to be willing to let go of the crumbs first. And Capricorn, I know your loyal nature made this hard. I know you wanted to bring everyone with you. But mountains don't apologize for their height, and you don't need to apologize for your growth. The missing piece? Understanding that true loyalty sometimes means loving people from a distance, honoring what was while embracing what is. Now we arrive at the heart of it all. Your purpose. You've been asking the universe, what am I here for? What's my real calling? And you might have expected some grand neon sign answer. But Capricorn, that's not how Saturn works. Your purpose wasn't hidden from you. It's been revealing itself through what you've been naturally drawn to, especially during the hardest times. What have you kept doing, even when it didn't make logical sense? What skill have you kept sharpening, even when no one was paying you for it? What cause kept pulling at your heartstrings, even when you told yourself you didn't have time? That's not random, Capricorn. That's your soul leaving breadcrumbs. The missing piece falling into place is the recognition that your purpose isn't something you need to discover. It's something you need to claim. It's been in your hands all along. You just needed to trust it enough to build your life around it. And here's the spiritual truth bomb. Your purpose isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become in the process of doing it. Every challenge you faced was sculpting you into the person who can hold the responsibility of your calling. You're not being called to something easy, Capricorn. You're being called to something worthy. Something that will require every lesson you've learned, every strength you've developed, every piece of wisdom you've earned through your trials. The missing piece is the confidence to step into this calling without waiting for permission, without needing certainty, without requiring everyone's approval. Your mountain has been preparing you for your mission, and your mission has been waiting for you to become who you needed to be to fulfill it. So where do you go from here, now that the fog has cleared? First, honor the journey that brought you here. Don't rush past this moment of clarity in pursuit of the next goal. Pause, breathe, acknowledge how far you've climbed. Second, trust what you now know. The clarity you have right now is real. It's not going to make everything easy, but it will make everything make sense. When doubts creep in, and they will, return to this knowing. Third, start building with intention. You've been building by necessity, by survival, by sheer will. Now you get to build by design. You know what matters. You know what doesn't. You know who you are and what you stand for. Use that knowledge. And finally, Capricorn, be gentle with yourself as you integrate this new perspective. Understanding why things happened doesn't erase the pain of the journey. Give yourself permission to grieve what you lost while celebrating what you gained. You're not the same person who started this climb. And that's exactly the point. The missing piece was never missing, Capricorn. It was being carved by your experiences, shaped by your choices, polished by your perseverance. And now, as it falls into place, you're not just seeing the complete picture. You are the complete picture. Everything makes sense now because you've finally become the person who can understand the lesson. If this message resonated with your soul, let me know in the comments. Share what's finally making sense in your journey. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already, because we're just getting started with these deep spiritual explorations. Until next time, keep climbing, keep building, and keep trusting the timing of your unfolding. You are exactly where you need to be. Blessed be, Capricorn.